First order of it. Take a look at the minutes from the last meeting. Does anybody have comments on that?
I have one edit I've submitted to the town clerk.
I fixed it, and I also realized that the date on the bottom was from the previous minutes, so I fixed that.
I don't think Tim was at that meeting. Were you at that meeting, Tim?
On Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I couldn't
then
make,
that's
I couldn't
another-
make it.
okay,
Sorry about that.
yeah, and
Is that one we had to print out ourselves at home?
yeah. Came
Oh, I have it.
yesterday.
Yeah, but-
And I can make more if anybody would like.
You know, we have that under the jail budget, the first paragraph. There's also language in the current contract regarding health insurance plan that must be removed as it is cost prohibitive. I think that was your comment, right, Kevin?
Correct.
So I
Yes,
think
sorry.
if we just say Commissioner Kelly suggested that it needs to be removed. And then, all the way at the last page, under interest budget. I just think, we need to say that, Kerry Hunt reported a firm interest figure,
Oh, okay,
just to give it a little more, add the word interest.
okay.
With those changes, I would make a motion that we accept the minutes of October 4th. Got a motion and a second?
Okay, okay, the number was 5.33. It reads 5.53.
No, it's 5.3333. Yeah, thank you.
Good question, Mary. That number I always know.
Great, Mary. Anything else? So with that, we've got a motion and a second on the table to accept the minutes as amended. All in favor? Tammy, are you in favor?
Yes, I,
Okay, thank you. Do we need to do a vote, what do you call it,
Roll call,
a roll call vote?
probably where it's a high, yeah.
Okay,
I didn't think of that last time either.
but there was nobody on the,
No, but I think the previous meeting.
there was, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, let's do a roll call vote then. So the motion is to accept the minutes. I'll start. Aye. Liz?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
I,
And aye.
thank you.
Okay, thanks. Motion carries. So. We have anything else?
Tammy's not here, right?
She's on Zoom.
Tammy's on the. Okay. With that, let's start with 1065 registry of deeds.
Is Brandy Bridges coming tonight? I don't know, where was she over there?
Yeah, so we're all gonna slide vote.
Is Laura will be here, but she'll be late.
Should I
So,
go up there?
yeah, if you don't mind. Then we will,
Sure.
then everybody can face you without too much trouble. So your budget seemed to be pretty straightforward. It wasn't a whole heck of a lot more than last.
No, basically, the salaries were increased by the COLAs and any step raises that were coming up. And other than that, as far as increases go, my box rent was increased by $20 because I was in the negative. I did consolidate some lines just to be more consistent and, so that looks a little different. I can go through each line if you'd like.
Well, I don't know,
How would you like me to?
do you want to go? I had like 4 or 5 questions on your budget. And with a budget that doesn't change a lot,
Mhm.
the big question in my mind is, can we do a little more? You know, if I take a look at your current burn rate, can we bring down some more of these expenses? And well, what do we want to go line by line, or do we want to go ahead and just
We've got plenty of time tonight. Based on the agenda, so I think we should not treat departments differently in terms of what we've been doing.
okay. Well, let's go line by line then.
So we start with, so line 4100 was meals. And that is now travel/meals, so it includes 4100 meals, 4105 mileage, and 4115 lodge. So I budgeted 1500 for 2026,
And
which is a total of the 3 lines.
Yeah.
For 2025.
so if I look at that, I see that you've spent $547,000, not thousand,
Let's see.
year to date, and that would give you a burn rate of about $730 for the year. Could we drop that to 1,000 and 500 in the stub period?
I really don't. The first of the year I had health issues, so I didn't make it to a lot of the meetings. So I didn't use a lot of my mileage. I don't usually have the mileage. I have $547 left, and I did have I had 2 meetings today, so I will have mileage coming in from today. I went to the MMA conference and then I have a registers meeting. So next year, that's probably gonna be pretty much depleted. I really hate to see that line go down because the Maine Register of Deeds Association is implementing new trainings and different things for us to attend, and I would like to attend as much as I can.
Any other questions?
Well, my question would be, in 2024, were some of these things that you attend in person, were they still Zoom and
Yes.
that kind of thing?
Yes,
Okay,
and now everything's pretty much back in person.
Okay.
Yes.
that was my, but
Okay. Any other questions on travel?
not a problem.
Okay. Let's go down to the equipment repairs and
Okay.
maintenance.
So if we go to 4600, I have combined 4600 and 4635. 4600 was equipment repairs, maintenance on our KIP plan copier. And repairs copier was on the photocopiers, typewriter, and the other electronics that we have.
Mhm.
So that's 3300 for the year, which is the same as 2025. And then for the first part of 2027, a lot of that comes out because the contracts, the maintenance agreements are due early in the year.
Okay, the 18-month period.
Yeah. So it looks like right now I have around $1,000 left between the full line. And I still have a few months of invoices coming in, and that's without any extra service on the machines.
Okay. Yeah, again, if I do your burn rate, you're at about $3,039. Could we drop it to 3,000 and then drop the stub period to 1,500?
I'm just trying to So right now I only have. Let's see, I have $1,861 of service contracts that are gonna come out of that line. And then anything else is for. If there's,
Another
equipment, right.
$1,800 worth of service contract or,
that's the total between the lot,
okay,
the,
all three lines?
yes. So it just won't leave a lot if there is a repair to be made.
No, it won't, but we're sitting on a $6 million increase in the county budget.
And I have two photocopies that I'm trying to get through because I don't want to have to spend money on a new they're ancient, but we don't use them as much, so I figure if one breaks down, we have the other one. But if that happens, we probably also have to invest in a new one, but I'm trying to, but
Like,
it's,
hold back.
I'm trying to hold back.
So there was a large increase on the repairs for the copier from 24 to 25's budget. But around 24 to 1,800, and then 25 was 2,500.
The amount I spent, you mean?
No, the amount we
We
budgeted.
budgeted.
So
It was
24 was
decreased.
actual. I
Mhm.
rounded it to 18. Rounded it up slightly to 18. And the budget for the current year, 25, we upped it to 2,500. And I hear what you say in relation to 25, but we already did a big jump.
I don't
24 to
recall,
25.
I don't recall increasing it.
The repairs copier line, 4635. In 24 with 1,007, this is what was expended. $1,777.73
So in 2024,
expended,
4630 was budgeted $800.
4635.
4635
Repairs copier,
was 2,500.
but the actual expended was $1,777.73.
I ended up at $700 left at the end of the year. But if I had a repair,
Well,
I mean, that's the only thing.
I hear you. But we have serious challenges this year, and they're not because of you. You're very good at your budgeting for your department. But everybody's gonna share in the pain. And once again, the pain is not from anything you've done or anything in your department. You run tight ship pretty much. But we're looking for pennies and nickels and dimes. And we've been through the beginning round of some costly departments. And there are serious challenges that now are even more serious than they were before we started. And there are some things that we cannot change, whether it's because it's commissioners, prerogative, or because of just circumstances. So we're now, 3 or 4 meetings in here, and literally pennies, nickels, and dimes. So that's why you're getting these questions.
Yep, no, that's fine. So how much were we looking to cut?
2,500 went down to like 1,900 or something. It's still more than what's been spent in the last 2 years each year, but
Yeah, I think a compromise is.
not significant anymore.
Nobody wants to cut off their nose to spite their face.
Yeah, on this one, you gotta look at the three budget, the three.
I mean, if there aren't any repairs, then we're fine.
So could you live with 3,000 and 1,500? On the equipment repairs maintenance line?
The
3,000.
6-month part, you said you've got to pay service contracts or something in the first 6 months.
Yes, I have to
So
pay them
what
in the
do you have-
first 6 months.
What do you have to pay in the first 6 months?
It's,
I
That
believe
18?
it's,
Is that the 1,800 you're
I
talking
have
about?
to pay 1,861.65 is what it is for this year.
Mhm.
I assume it might go up a little bit each year, but not too
I
much.
don't assume. So if we said 1,900 for the 6-month and 3,000 for the 12-month.
Could you do that? Okay,
I can try, yeah. 3,000 and then
1900.
19. Actually, the 1900 won't work, only
Okay.
because there's other things that come out of there other than those.
Okay, go ahead and take a look at it.
Um. I'm old school.
That's fine, I am too. I am too. Okay.
You're still.
That's how I was taught, so I-
Excited for the future and have no idea what'll happen. And if these copiers are on the edge a year from now, they could well be over.
Mhm. So,
I like your system.
so through June. It's gonna be about. We're gonna need about another $250.
So I had rounded up to the 19.
So it'll be 250 plus. It was 1862, so 250 plus 19 or
21.
2112.
2,100.
2100.
Instead of 19.
Hmm.
And what are we saying for the 12-month?
3,000.
3,000. Thank you. Move on. Microfilm. Whoops.
Dues. That's what I pay every year is 200. Microfilming, we have consistently dropped out the last couple of years.
Of the 200 you pay in the first 6 months of the year?
Yes,
Thank you.
it's due the end of January,
Thank you.
yeah. And then microfilming it's our computer software. We pay $3.90 per document. Right now, there's around 14,000 that I have in there, with anywhere is up to another 12 to 14, 15,000 that will need to come out. Depending how many documents we record in the next few months. I really don't think that one can come down any further. Because it's that, plus there's also a storage fee that I pay out of that too, for a microfilm. So we started out, I think it was at. Last year it was decreased from 56,000 to 50. The previous year it was decreased from 64,800 to 56. So it's gone from 64,800 to 50,000 in the last couple of years. And I don't think I'm gonna have much left.
Do you know how much more you've got to go this year?
I have 3 months of billing. At. This past month was 4,400, so it can be anywhere from. I mean, it just depends on the volume that we do. I don't foresee the volume going up the end of the year, but it could stay consistent. We're 650 documents ahead of where we were last year at this time, so we definitely have had more business this year.
The numbers are up from the real estate market.
Yeah.
So
Interest rates are dropping too, so that might pick things up a bit.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think this is one we can cut.
Really? Well, I only ask because looking at the actuals for the last couple of years, I mean, if we're up a little from last year, but
We're
we're
up
only.
quite, it seems like a little, but it's quite a bit when you figure the totals.
So 650 is enough to actually get it up so that this year really could be close to the 50,000 that we're
It-
spending.
It can be close to what I've got left, yes.
Okay.
All right, let's move on then.
Okay. Box rent was 500, which covers the box rent. Postage 1,300. I cannot cut that because I still have $500 worth of postage to buy. I haven't bought my postage yet for the year. And I haven't another one of our quarterly payments paid as well. So that there's not gonna be much left in that line. I think when I
And there's
figured
gonna be
it.
2 postage increases next year.
There is next year.
Yes.
We're already at 74.
I think by the time that we get to the second one, I think you're going to be up to 85 cents.
Wow. And we've done really well too with trying to get our customers to provide postage paid envelopes, but we have to mail the documents back regardless. So, I mean, we've cut this down a lot over the last several years. Because yes, I will only have $96 left at the end of the year. And if the rates are going up for next year, then.
So postage stays,
Got that one.
office supplies.
Okay, so line 5335 office supplies, I have combined 4840 print and engraving, 5335 office supplies, and 5345 printing and reproducing. The printing and reproducing was combined toner and paper. Printing and engraving was anything that had to be printed or engraved, and then office supplies was everything else for the office. So I have $3,550 for that line. Let's see.
So your burn rate on that is approximately 2,600 for the balance of the year, given what you're going at now.
I get a lot of my stuff at the end of the year to start fresh the new year, but I still have things to purchase,
Mhm.
toner and paper and all that stuff. I can maybe cut it a little bit, but just the price of everything's gone up so much.
What do you feel you can cut it?
Um. um, 250 by 250.
So 3,300.
3,300.
What about the half year?
I tried.
We'll go to 1,300 on that.
Okay, so we're going for the full year, 33. What amount did you mention? I'm sorry.
1,300. Cuts $475 out.
That I think will be too much.
The
We're
original
only
was-
cutting the whole year by,
Yeah, the original was half of the 3550, so it's that long.
3,300, so,
125 on 1650.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say 125 or 150, I wouldn't think much more than that.
So let's go with 150 then. Bring it down to 1,625. 1,625.
And then. Is that all for now?
Yeah.
And 5350 training education, which was training. I've combined 5350 with 5505 and 5510, so subscriptions and reference books. Because it all applies to training and education. So 700 is the request for that. And I don't think I'm gonna have much left in that. I only have $26 left for my training line. And we're planning on having more registry of deeds trainings next year for the organization. And 350 I haven't used, but that's for like reference books and stuff for the trainings, which I was not able to attend the early year trainings this year.
But we haven't spent that the last previous 2 years either, the 350.
I'm thinking if I combine it with the other line and we're going to be having more trainings, then it will offset it so that I'll have enough to attend the trainings and get the reference. for 2026. Is what I'm thinking or hoping.
So in
Okay.
2024, when it was Zoom meetings,
Right.
there were no reference books.
There wasn't really much to need to purchase, 'cause I didn't attend any of the trainings where you would get, you know. They usually will sell reference books at the trainings and different things like that, and we just had Zoom stuff. Mostly our Register of Deeds Association meetings. Not the extra ones that we have tried to start including.
So how did you get the information that year when the stuff was on Zoom, I guess, and the,
Because all we did when it was on Zoom was our Register of Deeds Association meetings, which is our organization. So we don't need, but it's when they do another training, like if they did FOIA or if they did just something else to help us in our positions, then they would. You know, I know a lot of them are doing like the PREA conference in the spring and different things, and they're trying to get as many of us to go to these conferences and stuff, but I wouldn't have enough to even attempt to go to those. But we usually do have a pretty good representation at things like that.
Important training.
Yeah.
that seems like that
I'm not
should stay.
inclined to change the 700 or the 250.
Any other comments? All right, let's keep it at what it is. So the only thing, the two lines that we've changed 4,600 equipment repairs and maintenance, the 3,000 for the 12-month period, and 2,100 for the 6-month stub period. And we've changed office supplies to 3,300 for the 12-month period and 1,625 for the 6-month period. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you very
Sorry
much.
for being mean.
I understand.
All right. The next one is probate. Registry of probate. Next, 10-7. So basically I did this, I basically did the same thing. I looked at your run rate. And I said, okay, can we cut it? Cut it for this 12-month period and the 6-month period. I mean, that's pretty much all I thought we had.
I
the
did
ability to do.
online already, because I also looked at that, what we have done the last,
Yeah.
especially the last year, post-COVID. So I did cut a few lines anyway,
Okay,
but
then we got a few more.
yeah. So court appointments, I have left that as the same. Right now, we have, about $12,000 left in that line. And we have 2 more months worth of bills. I know I've got about 5 court appointments that I will be getting billed for. And those could be a maximum of $2,000 each, so that's gonna eat up a lot of the remainder of what I have left in court appointments for this year.
So 5 times 2,000 is 10,000.
So that leaves you with 2,600.
That's assuming we don't, that's what we have current. If we get cases between now and the end of the year that require court appointments, then that's gonna add to that as
Explain what a court appointment is, please.
well. When somebody is indigent and can't afford to pay for an attorney,
Yeah.
mostly it happens in guardianship proceedings, mostly for minors and adults. We're required to appoint an attorney. If they can't afford to pay it, then the
Right.
court has to pay it. And there is a maximum, it's $150 an hour for a maximum of 20 hours.
And how long before these things can come up almost immediately. I would guess
Daily.
with childcare, it could come up right away.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't know about it.
Right. Everybody that comes to our counter is in a panic. I have an emergency. Yeah, so.
Big thing.
Not this one.
All right,
Finally, it's slowing, we're gonna.
leave it the way it is. Okay, auto travel. Travel,
Yep, the travel I did decrease already, to $12.50. Currently, we budgeted $2,000. And I requested, $1,250 for next year. Right now I have a balance of $1,700 in that account. The judge uses this line as well when she goes to her judges assembly meetings.
Mhm.
And she has 2 more of those this year. I have 1 more registers meeting, so, that will take. I would guess another $300 or $400 for the mileage.
So then you're saying you might have $1,400
Yeah.
left?
Yeah.
Can we reduce that by 14? Oops. We finished.
Nice try, though.
Anyway, you can get it. So the travel auto is at $12.50. And I was wondering if we could. I don't know.
Well, has anything changed? I mean, the last couple of years, you haven't spent even 400 in that line for you and the judge, right? I mean, is anything different next year versus?
The judge will be using more of it. This was our first full year with this judge, so last year it wasn't drawn on as much. And there was a lot of Zoom meetings last year as well that weren't attended.
So this year, it sounded like, I could have misheard, but that the total that you'll actually spend is around 900 this year, but I heard another 600.
400.
Yeah, 400. It was 400, yeah.
So only 700 this year, but we're budgeting 1250. I mean, can we cut it?
Well, right now I've spent almost $300 out of this line for
Mhm.
mileage.
Right.
And I'm expecting,
Okay,
another.
so she's got 100 more than we're sitting on, so 800.
Yep.
So even if we cut it to 1,000,
1,000's the number I
that
would do.
would still give you a cushion.
Okay, with 1,000.
Sure.
And then for the stub period,
500.
500.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Neil,
Meals. I also reduced that line by $250 from this year. The judge will have her judges assembly conference in the next couple of weeks. So there will be money coming out of that. Right now, there's almost $700 left in that line. I do have a meeting in December as well. I have no idea how much with the new county policy on meal allotment. That's why I asked for it, that's why I suggested the decrease to begin with, from 750 to 500.
And last year, was this judge here all of last year? No, you said this is her first year.
She
As far as
started,
expenses.
this was her first full year. She started, right at the end of last year.
well, we must have just eaten salads for the last few years.
I know, the
At my
actuals
last,
seem-
honestly, at my last meeting, I grabbed a muffin off the breakfast buffet and I brought it home. I ate it for my lunch on the way home.
Well, we're not saying that we don't want you to eat, it's
Well.
just that the actuals are so much lower than.
Seems like a
than
healthy-
budget,
An overly healthy
Mhm.
cushion.
yeah.
Could we maybe go to 4 and 2 on that?
Um. Sure.
Thank you.
All right. Lodging.
Right now, there is, I have $1,000 balance. The judges' assembly meeting next weekend. I'm not sure what her lodging is gonna be, but it is a 3-day conference that she has.
Yeah, that eats that up very quickly.
Yeah.
Keep that the way it is.
I'm okay with that. Travel air.
Where are you guys flying to?
Well,
In the next
not fine,
months?
but for example, the judge did go to Mystic, Connecticut, and that was by everything but a plane, car, train, Uber. So, but there is a conference in, I believe, South Carolina in the spring, and I don't know where the fall one is. It's usually somewhere south-ish. But she will be attending probably 2 out-of-state seminars a year.
Well, I just came back from South Carolina. My plane ticket was $300 and some round trip.
Awesome.
2 times a year is really healthy for training and seminar type things.
Yeah. Well, do you have any suggestions on the travel?
100.
Belfast does 1, if we allow, it's 1. And we are pro training and seminars, but not 2 a year.
I know the National College of Probate Judges is a very good conference, and that is one that she will attend. The one in Mystic, I'm not sure what that was, but it's helpful to connect with other judges and see what's going on out in the world, and I think she finds them very informative. Or else she wouldn't go.
I wouldn't disagree with that,
Yeah.
but there's a limit.
What do we think we can do on the air travel?
So is the 250 or the 246.33 we're looking at as expended already to this year, is that the trip to Mystic?
The
Is
trip
every
to
kind of
Mystic was not
transportation
airfare.
possible?
But I did take her Amtrak because I didn't have anywhere else to put it, so her train travel I did take out of the airfare one.
Cheaper than flying.
It seems reasonable to me that round trip airfare would be around 500 or 600 per trip. So if we're doing 2 conferences,
I think-
$1,200.
I think the only thing
Agreed.
that's hard about that is that when you're going to a conference, you aren't choosing
Right.
when you fly. So when we plan our own travel with our families, it's like, oh, if I go on a Tuesday and come
Right.
back on
That's
Sunday,
true.
that's better
Yeah.
than blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah, you don't have that.
Yeah,
But
And
500, you ought to be able to get up. To be able to
hopefully,
go a pretty good distance on
yeah.
500.
I wondered about maybe 2,100, like just reducing a little bit out of this. But not.
Well, my numbers were 2,000 even and 1,000 even.
I could go with 2 and 1. Could you handle that?
Yep.
Thank you.
It's still $1,000 per ticket.
Yep. All right, repairs. Furniture and kinds of stuff.
This line is for replacing things that need to be replaced. I'm looking at a couple of office chairs. There's a chair in our office lobby that needs to be replaced where we do our passport photos. And a couple of us are sliding around on floor mats that are kind of chipped and are falling apart, the plastic's coming out, so kind of little things like that.
You can have this one.
It's 20 years old. Yeah, don't mess with our budget line.
Camp chair next time.
Well, I remember when the judge's chair had a spring popping out.
Yeah. That was,
No.
Yeah.
that too.
So you didn't have any
There were
expenditures this year at all?
I have not yet.
Or last year or the year before.
So it's probably about time.
I feel like-
Yeah.
But I guess my only point is, you know, if we did, I could dig it out for my other things, but. So we budgeted possibly $3,000 in this line over the last 3 years and
It hasn't
haven't
been
spent
spent.
any of it, so it's gone into a general fund.
Mhm.
Just wheel one of these chairs down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we want to keep it at what it is, or do we have any suggestions?
What's real this coming year?
My taxpayers are going broke.
A couple of office chairs at least, and those can go anywhere from $300 to $3,000. Not for us, but we're lucky that Dispatch actually shared one of their discarded dispatcher chairs with us, so we did acquire a free one this year.
I'll bet they have good chairs.
They have great chairs.
They have expensive chairs.
That's what I meant. When I said that, they have great chairs.
All right, so let's,
Now they have to replace one.
do we want to change this at all, or do we want to leave it at 1,005?
No, we don't leave it at 1,005.
Okay,
It's about 5 and 250.
What was that, Mary?
5 and 250 is what I'm throwing out there for conversation.
could you do it for 5 and 250, do you think?
Yeah,
All right. All right, copier repairs, equipment.
that's kind of we have contracts on our copiers, service agreements. Which actually saves the county a little bit of money because it includes our maintenance and toner for the year.
Mhm.
So, and it's based on usage. Right now I had budgeted $800. I have a little over 500 left in that for the rest of the year.
So what's the contract? Probably in your notes and I just don't have it in my head. You said you have a contract.
We have a service agreement with Rico for our printer and our photocopier.
How much is that for the year?
That's based on usage. So much a copy for black and white and so much a copy in color.
And so how much have you been billed so far?
Right now, we've spent $268.
So you're about 260.
So it's still,
It seems like 400 should be more than for an annual. I mean, just looking at the last couple of years too, that it gives a good cushion. And
400 and 200?
Yeah, the last year, we didn't have the our printer, we got about halfway through the year last year, so we didn't have a service contract on it.
Are all these copiers and everything from all these budget categories, and this all with the same provider? And
I don't think so. I think each department shops their own vendor.
I mean, wouldn't it be cost effective to have the same provider for all the departments?
I actually brought somebody in to look from TPT. He went to all departments and I have not heard a word back from him.
It would be good to hear back from him.
It would be
Mm.
excellent, yes.
To work on his customer service skills.
Yeah.
all right, so what are we gonna do about this today then?
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Photographic repairs.
Can we just hold on copiers and just, that makes me really nervous. Okay,
Are you still nervous or?
yeah, but I'm adapting. I'm over it.
Well, I mean,
You are
the question
doing a
is,
good job of it.
do you think you could meet that budget? Or do you need a little
For
more?
this year I can, for next year, I don't know. We are doing more printing now, even though, there's more e-filing going on, that causes us to have to print more documents for hearings for the judge, because everything comes in electronically and then we have to print it, and that's what makes the usage go up.
Gotcha.
The state at its finest.
Okay, if you can go with 4 and 2, we'll go with 4 and 2 and move on. If you feel that that's not enough, please speak up.
See you next year.
Okay.
See you in court, yes.
Okay.
Friendly.
Photographic repairs, you got 2 and 100. And you haven't had this, you spent $41 way back in 24.
Doesn't even look like that.
Yeah, in the year before. Oh. No, on this sheet, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at that.
The money that is in that is, if we are able, if our printer for our passport photo goes on the blink, it's easier to get it sometimes replaced and repaired. So it's actually a bigger cost that comes out of capital outlay when we have to replace our camera and printer. But if it could be a simple repair, I would take it out of this rather than having to replace the whole unit.
How much is a new unit?
Oh, good question. The whole set is almost $400 for a camera and a printer. For passport photos.
Okay, any suggestions from the
And
committee?
sometimes we replace those a couple times a year. They just don't last.
But those come out of capital,
Yeah. For the set, when we have to buy the set,
right?
we'll take it out of capital.
Leave it at 200, 100.
Leave it,
Yeah.
all right. Liability insurance,
Mhm. That's just what it is. That gets billed at the end of the year.
just what it is.
Yeah, 50 and 0.
Okay,
Yeah, and that
At
gets
least we got a
billed.
zero. We got something finally paid at the end of the year.
4805, publications notices.
Yeah, this is one that has increased quite a bit, and that's due to the increase in cost for publications that we get billed from the newspaper. The good news is that this fee is recouped through payment of fees. The users of the court pay this fee, and it goes back to the county. I can't put it back in the budget because it's not an in and out line. And we do make about $20 on every publication, so we are making money as well on this line.
Excellent news.
You've got 4,453 left for the year.
No, the balance on the publication line, the 4805 is 2,600. That's what the current balance is.
2,600.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you have an up-to-date balance sheet there.
As of the 4th. Right,
Basically 9,400.
any suggestions on this line?
It's still a good bit a year ago.
9,400 today plus another 3 months is gonna be pretty close to 13 plus.
Yeah,
I'd leave it.
okay, let's leave it. Officers' fees,
That's to pay when we have to do personal service on a party involved in the court. We have to pay the sheriff's office, whether it's our sheriff's office or an out-of-state law enforcement agency. And those fees are, we just never know what. We have to have somebody in Massachusetts served. It could be $200 or $300. It all depends on how many times they have to go to try to track down the person to get them served.
I say leave that.
Say leave it.
Yeah.
And what are you looking at? You're looking at the chart. I'm not looking at it. What's the history?
2 years ago, $151, last year, $122. Year to date on our sheet is 71.
Mhm.
You should probably have an updated number, but. I mean, I hear what you're saying about, potential.
These are things that are statutorily required to be done.
Yeah,
Right.
this isn't like a chair that you can't buy, but.
Right.
400 and 200. Thank you.
Mary suggested 400 and 200. You know, we'll do it.
Okay.
Is that on officer fees?
Yeah. All right, dude.
I have, my balance right now in dues is $180 and I do not have, I believe Judge Owen has dues for something that she will be submitting before the end of the year.
It's gonna bid for 1,100 right there.
Yeah.
I'd say leave it.
Yep.
PO box rental.
Yeah. I increased it to $325 because right now I'm in the hole, $18.
Okay. Leave it. Posted.
Is that gonna cover the increase when they raise?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Postage is the other increase that I had in the line item, just because, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Right now I have $1,800 left. Our priority mails that we have to send passport applications to the State Department in is now $9.90, I believe. And we have to send one of those envelopes, at least one a day, sometimes two, if we have too many applications to fit in. We can only fit 6 applications in one envelope, so if we have more than 6 applications, that's another.
And we charge,
$10.
we don't charge for passports at all.
We charge for passports, we cannot recoup the postage fee. The State Department won't let us
Huh.
pass that charge on to the customer.
That's interesting. They ought to make it free for us to mail them.
This is not a place I would be cutting short.
We do make a good amount of money on passports as well. We are up, we've done 200 more passport applications. As of right now, over last year.
Well, let's leave this one. 9,500 and 5,500. Printing.
Printing, I did decrease that one.
Did you decrease it too much, or are you okay with it?
I'm actually okay with it.
Great.
Well, let's move on before she changes.
Change your mind. Office supplies, I have kept the same.
What about the recording fees?
Oh, sorry.
But
That's to record abstracts when, those fees are generally paid by the parties every once in a while. If we make a mistake, we have to re-record a document and we have to pay that out of our budget to get it corrected. Doesn't happen very often, you tell me. When did it happen?
I'm okay with that. Office supplies.
Yeah, I left that the same.
That looks, looking back at the history on that one, that looks pretty tight.
Yep.
Take inflation on top of what's history.
Record books.
I have $55 left in that right now.
Yep.
And I left that the same.
All right.
Yeah, that looks okay.
Schools training.
Those are for those seminars that we have. It also pays for when one of us needs our notary renewal. Pays for that. Right now we have $1,400 left in that. But the judge, like I said, she's got another conference to attend this fall, and I'm not sure what those bills are gonna come in at.
There's some water there.
Yeah, what about like 15 and 750?
Sounds good to me.
I'm not gonna say what I would have done.
Yeah, you would have done lower.
I would have gone 8 and
You would
4.
have done lower. Training is important
It
in
is.
moderation. Where common sense is introduced into the conversation.
Okay, so the 15 and
And 750?
750 or?
I think it's also really important for employee happiness and retention. We can do that stuff.
Okay,
Well, it's good for the benefit.
Statutes and reference.
Yeah.
I believe it. By the time you get to the end of the year, we'll be pretty close to your.
Yep,
Mhm.
all right. What's the detail on the capital outlay?
The capital outlay increased a little bit because I took our QuickBooks subscription out of the training line and put it in capital outlay where it really belongs. So that's the difference in the cost. QuickBooks subscription, I think, is around $800 to $850 a year, depending on what the increase is gonna be.
And that,
And you put
What's
something
in
built in
capital?
January.
But you've got 7,000. How does that break down?
Oh, I'm sorry.
12 months.
So you mean what comes out of capital outlay? Our our docket software program for our electronic docketing system. We just signed a new 3-year contract, and I was pretty close. I was guessing what our annual fee was gonna be, and for next year, it's gonna be a little over $3,200. Following year, a little over 34, and the following year, a little over 3,600. So I was guesstimating around
You've got
3,200.
at 3,200 for the next 12 months, plus 800 for QuickBooks.
Yep, and also what comes out of that are, we had to buy a new typewriter, any kind of electronic equipment, scanners. To scan into the, docketing program. Also label writers, the scanners are about $1,000 each, and we have 4 of them.
And how often do you replace those?
We've replaced. I think we replaced 1 last year, and maybe 1 the year before that. So the ones, the 3 that we have left are, I'm just expecting anytime they're gonna, and we have to have, that's how we get our documents into the World Wide Web.
I'm surprised to hear QuickBooks subscription is in capital outlay. I'm misunderstanding capital outlay.
It was my understanding, any equipment that we use specific to our office is what would come out of capital outlay,
Any software?
computer related.
Yeah, I think of it as stuff that needs to be
Like
replaced and
annual
not.
expense.
Yeah,
Early capital outlay.
yeah.
Well, maybe when Jason has his own budget, he can start paying for that.
What, do we have any suggestions on capital outlay?
What did you do? 6.
Doug, what did you say?
I asked her if she could do 6 instead of 7.
6 and 3?
I have $1,400 left in capital outlay right now, and the only way that will work is if
That's 72, right?
I don't pay her for our docket management program until January. Usually the bill comes at the end of the year. So I either have to pay it this year or next year,
That would bring you right up to 7,
so I'll be overdrawn.
But as it
Leave it as it is, okay. Thank you very much. Let me just go over what I think we agreed to. 4105 travel auto, 1,500. Meals, 4110, 400 and 200. Travel air, 2,000, 1,000. Repairs furniture, 500, 250. Repairs equipment copiers, 400, 200. Officers fees, 400, 200. Schools and training, 1,500, 750. That's it. That's what everybody had. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Center.
My good news, I'm not buying a chair.
You were thinking about it,
No.
were you?
Those things are 5,000 a piece. We actually have one still, two of them from 1999 that we purchased. So they do last. Alright.
If you want to just kind of take a step through this, Mike.
Do you want me to go through the personnel lines as well, or just start with travel?
We can't do anything about the personnel
Okay.
lines.
I looked at it and typed up to
Yeah.
the detail.
A party, hard fun.
All right.
With the travel line, I had 500 and 250, and looking at that, actually, I'm not using much of it because a lot of my travel actually comes out of training because it's related to training. I only have one person that uses that travel line for 2 meetings a year. So that can probably be brought down to 200.
Good start.
Keep it up.
Keep it up. Oh, I got more. Don't worry.
And
200
the
and
6 month, did it
125?
Yeah,
fall?
that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Vehicles,
Vehicle maintenance, I asked for 2 and 2 because the vehicle is getting older. It's going to start needing, I have to replace an AC compressor on it right now, and it's got 75,000, so I'm expecting other things might happen. So that's why I have that at that.
okay.
Vehicle fuel, we cut back, the commissioners had cut that back a little bit because I'm not using as much fuel. When I first started with the vehicle, we were doing the tower site project, so I was going from tower site to tower sites that burned a lot more. Don't anticipate fuel going up, so the commissioners had reduced that to 35 and 15.
How do we feel about that?
Less driving, why is it still more?
No, well,
It wasn't mine, the commissioners had cut that back already.
and what have you spent year to date so far?
As of this, I can tell you on here, my latest report. Vehicle fuel, I've spent around 1,700 right now, I believe.
1685, 40.
Yep.
I'm still,
Could we go 15 and 750 on that?
well.
From
15 is
35
less
to
than-
15, whoa, Bob.
I was gonna say 2,000.
Vehicle fuel, huh? I guess I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, really.
From 4,000 to maybe 2,000.
I'd say 2,500, 1685 for 9 months, you're still gonna be.
Yeah, 2,500 sounds good to me.
Okay. I can make that work.
Good.
And for the 6 month?
1250.
1250?
Elegant.
NCIC Metro. That
What-
hasn't changed.
What is NCIC then?
So that covers all of the teletype. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 machines that all connect to the state. So that pays for maintenance on the network switch. That's my annual fee for allowing us to be on that switch. And then that also pays for my yearly dues as well. That's so when the officers run a driver's license or when we put out a missing person, that's all that connectivity.
Gotcha.
Are you good with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
4325, I am responding. So that one there, I did make a mistake on. No, it's a good mistake. I have to renew the contract in 2027 and I use the 2027 quote to do 26s. So actually that one can go down, 2494 can be removed from the 12-month line on that one for 2026.
So
Okay,
give me a
wait a minute,
number.
wait a minute.
So I have for 2024. There's my line right there. That can be brought down to 13,657.
15,000.
657.
In the 12 months.
12 months.
Yep, the 6 month would need to stay the same because that's
One more time, 13,
657.
thank
It's
you.
the same as the expended number
Correct.
last year, because it's a contract.
Yes.
Okay,
Radio repair
Okay, the
maintenance.
half year, the 6-month one,
That
Uh,
was.
That one's,
same,
yeah, that one's the
because it went to
8,000.
another contract, different contract, period.
Let's see, 4,600 radio repair and maintenance. I've requested 5 and 2,500. I know that I haven't used much of that this year. But that,
previously.
yeah, that covers the equipment that's in the radio room. So if one of the computers goes down, then that pays for that because even though we have a contract on that, it's not covered for any repairs on during the contract. I do need to buy 2 more headset controllers, either out of this year's or next year's, and those are about 600 a piece. So I'd like to keep that one there if I could.
So I'm
Okay
just,
with
so
that.
I'm just curious.
Mhm.
You need to buy them,
Yes,
you have the money in this year,
yes,
why would you not buy them in this budget year?
availability. They just changed from a company called Poly to a new company and they're not available yet. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to this year.
Okay.
If I can, I will. If not, it'll have to be next year.
Thank you.
Yep.
So we'll leave that as it is. Down to radio maintenance contracts.
Yep, and that went up just a little bit per the contracts. To 72,715.34 for the 12-month and then the 6-month at 37.57.
Good.
Tower site operations. I kept it the same for the 12-month and then increased it just a little bit for the 6-month. Right now I am replacing floors and mostly just the floors in one of my tower sites. Next year, one building is gonna have to be repainted and I'm gonna have to purchase a door for one of the other buildings. The other thing that scares me about tower sites right now is Point Lookout is under contract. The big mansion up on the hill, we have a tower up there. I found out today that they went through an inspection and hopefully the inspection's good because they want to sell the property. The people interested in it,
Don't want the power.
nope, they're okay with it, but I'm gonna have to sign a new contract with them and I don't know how much money they're gonna want. We own the tower, we own the building, we own everything up there, we just don't own the land under it. That's what we paid for.
How much land is there?
The whole thing's hundreds of acres, hundreds. We don't own anything, we just,
With the land at the.
yeah, we rent just the footprint under the tower.
Tower?
We would be happy to speak with them.
Or maybe.
How much are they serving to help people?
I believe it's only $6,000 a year. Well, compared to my other ones that I'm paying $1,500 a month for, so.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, no.
It's
there an
such
apartment
good
tower?
citizenry to give us a deal on that. It's like patriotic.
Throwing this out there, is it possible just to buy the land that the tower sits on? And then
Very
get-
possible we can talk
easement?
with the new owners. So when I talked to the property manager today, he was actually. He talked to them and one of the part owners or one of the people involved in this whole thing is a former either Boston police officer, detective or something like that. And he's like, nope, I understand that that needs to stay and we're not gonna mess around with that. We'll see what happens after they purchase it, but
So it's a partnership of some kind?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, my deal with them right now is if there's any issues up there, I have to go up there. I usually email the prior owner, the current owner, and he's like, yep, go up there, do what you need to do. He's been really, really good. I'm hoping to have that same relationship with the new owners, but I don't know what's to come.
Okay.
4820 dues and licenses. Those are still to come. I get those usually at the end of the year. And that covers NENA, which is the National Emergency Numbers Association. That covers APCO. And I believe that's all for those.
I don't do anything there.
No,
Okay. Program software is a new line. That was the program. I combined that with our old scheduling program and then the software that I asked for in my capital outlay last year. And that's contracted for those two. That the other software is my policy program.
and that's your 911 software or whatever.
No, this is the scheduling. It's a company called Power DMS. They do my scheduling. They house all my policies. And when I change a policy, it pushes it out to the dispatchers. They have instant notification of a policy change. It also houses a training program for the dispatchers. So if we put out a brand new policy, it creates quizzes and tests so they understand the policies.
It also records them signing, right?
Correct, yeah.
Right, that was the
Yep.
big one.
So we're also going to use that for our quality assurance program so we're required by the state to do 100 medical calls, and I believe it's 80 fire calls per month that my QA person goes through. And so right now we are spending lots and lots of money on ink and paper. And so this is going to replace that and I'll have it in a software so we don't have to print anymore. I was spending, I think last time I bought ink for her printer, it was like $1,400 and I'm doing that twice a year. So and that's the commissioners, because of that, did take some money out of office supplies to offset that cost.
Okay.
The critical testing, that is now gone because the state took on that burden of paying for that.
They're
Well,
not
thank
making
you.
you pay for something.
No, they actually decided to pay for it now, so that's gone.
It's a mistake, Mary.
Yeah. Postage, the only thing I use postage for right now is with my dispatches with their headsets, that's a custom ear mold. And so that gets mailed out to be casted.
Leave it.
Fun project.
Yeah, well, they have to go down to the hearing aid place, they put the
Yeah.
tube in the ear, and then I have to send it to the other company.
More like arts and crafts, like.
No. They do come in
Oh.
glitter, so some of them have glitter pink, glitter purple. and-
Nice.
Right.
Uh,
Recruitment?
Yep, that mostly covers National Telecommunicator Week, which is in the spring, and that's the recognition week for the 911 dispatchers.
Let's just kind of want to ask you a question about recruitment. Are
Yeah.
you staffed up completely?
I am fully staffed right now. And I got fully staffed. My supervisors hired within 2 new supervisors. And right now we are sitting pretty good, staffing wise.
Good.
You have a big turnover though, don't you?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. A few years back we did. Right now I'm good.
Good. That's
No, knock on wood.
all right.
Supplies maintenance, I think I kept that the same. Yes, I did keep that one the same. Office supplies, we already reduced, I believe. Yes, we reduced that one because of the ink.
Oh, the commissioner's side, you mean?
Yes,
So we're gonna make that
3,000 and 1,500.
15.
And then my training all line, I kept that one the same.
But wait a minute,
Sorry,
because we kind of flew through those pretty quickly.
sorry.
So the supplies and maintenance
Yes,
is 3,000. But you've only spent 1,100 so far, 3/4 of the way through the year.
that one there, so that covers supplies, maintenance covers my shredding. That covers, what else? I have to look that one up, hold on. That covers Spectrum, that covers shredding. And then we use it for bigger, like dish soap and sponges and other office things. I mean, if you want, we can reduce that down because I haven't spent a lot of it.
I'd be happy with reducing.
What
it
number
down.
would be comfortable for you?
I mean,
Um,
years ago it was 2,500, but last year and this year look like they're more in the 1,500.
Yeah, and part of that too is, because we're doing more and more paperless, I've backed off my shredding a little bit. And that's probably why that's where it is.
I'll bring you mine.
So could we bring it down to like 1,600 or something?
2633 today, you can add another 900. That brings
Okay,
it to
I'm
35.
seeing 1105 today.
It's- Oh, this is office supply,
I
supplies.
thought we
and
were on
maintenance,
supplies and maintenance.
That's right.
5325, it's only 1105 to date.
I've got 1638.64 for that line right
You
now.
have 1638,
Oh,
Yeah.
1637.
So how about 2 and 1?
2,000, yeah.
2 and 1 would be
Mike?
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
And
right.
which,
Office supplies.
Thank you, Rob.
sure.
All right,
But so
jump
then
to
we-
office supplies, you're gonna add another 900, which brings it to 35. So
And that's what,
Okay,
We
that one the
brought, we
commissioners
brought that
had
down to
already
3 and
reviewed.
1,500.
what do you mean?
Office
adding
supplies.
Another 900, I just.
well, 2633 today for 3/4. One more quarter be about another 900. Which would be 3,500.
But the commissioner dropped it to 3 and 1, 3 and 1,500. Mike was okay with that,
Yeah, the 3 and 1,500.
and so
Yep.
we'll do
Good.
the 3 and 1,500 if that's okay. Training off,
Yes,
So earlier you were talking about some training bringing in the program software line, but that is. that
that's a
separate?
training program that's in there, not going to training. Yep.
Okay, so. Number's a little high, why?
Mhm. Is that where that conference comes out of?
Yes, filming comes out of that as
And
well.
Don't you have a pending $3,800 bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel-
That covers all of the dispatchers
training.
going to and from training at the academy for mileage and
That
that.
bill was the
Yeah.
missing. puzzle.
Gotcha.
okay, so 13,000 and 6,500
Yeah.
seem reasonable,
Yeah, it seems like, good luck.
okay. And no outlet.
No outlay.
capital.
No.
All right, well, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Let me,
Thank you for all
let
you
me
do.
just go through what we changed, and I did all my changes to the numbers in red the department requested. Travel goes to 2 and 125,
Yes,
vehicle fuel goes to 2,500 and 1250.
yes,
I am responding, goes to 13,657 and leave the
Yes.
6-month period the same.
yes,
Supplies and maintenance goes 2 and 1.
yes,
Office supplies goes 3 and 1,500.
yes.
Those are the changes we made.
Sounds good.
Thank you for all your
Thank
help.
you. Thank you. Records preservation. I believe.
Thank you.
What can we take out of that?
Pretty good to me.
Yeah, really, let's move on.
Okay, so that's zero on records preservation. Now, for a while, we had some in there and then we didn't have some in there and we were gonna get shelves and. I don't know, if I go back a couple years,
Yeah.
what,
Currently, well, number one, they're no longer where they were. Did not end up where they were supposed to go. And are currently at in the new warehouse at the EMA, which is about the best place we could find for them, and they seem to be doing well. I was out with a ladder a month or so ago, crawling around, looking at things, other than needing to dust tops of boxes, they look like. I do have a stack of things out here that still need work. In the process of moving, I realized that tubes don't last for maps and things, the little plastic pieces come out and ended up sliding things on their sides in my car and taking them out a little bit at a time, and then I have some here to work on, so there's no need at this time that I can think of to purchase anything. I need to finish the project that zigged and zagged. So,
okay,
but they're in good place, they're in good condition, and keep working on it
and in compliance with our legislation.
as much as we can.
Okay,
As much as we can, that's another thing altogether, because even current records here, personnel records and such have to be kept a certain way too, but not subject to fire. Every county you talk to will tell you they struggle with the description of a vault and how to keep things, but I know Commissioner Kelly was looking at our walls, and there's some fire rated things in this building which help a lot. For if there is a fire. And we do have, our smoke detectors are checked very regularly and are very, so I think we're as good as we can be at the moment, and in keeping in mind that the money is extremely tight, we're just not doing huge projects with it, but maintaining things as best we can.
great. I'd like to just hit a couple of admin things for us. If there's any way, as committee, we can get everything done on the next Saturday we're here, I would like to try to do that, rather than move to November. November 1st, opening deer season.
Maybe we need to pick a different date.
Well, we could pick a different date if we needed to.
I don't see how we can get everything done and the conversations that need to be maybe reopened on the 25th.
Okay, all right.
Well, bear in mind, we're gonna go into November no matter what you do, because I've done the math, and I need a 3-week notice to get things in the paper, get things prepared for the towns, and meet at minimum requirement for.
Yeah,
And that allows Carrie time to make whatever changes need to be made. That's the bare minimum. So you're gonna wind up doing at least one meeting in November, no matter what you do.
okay. So what I'm hearing is.
I'd be very happy to change the November 1st date because I have another big commitment that I was already in
Okay,
trouble with.
can we look at our respective calendars and? Move it a week to November 8th.
I have to be gone. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I don't know how important that is, but I'm just putting it out there.
Like you being gone or?
It's very
Thought I'd ask the question.
Well, I have to be gone on that.
Oh, I'm not even around that weekend.
Can we not meet on a Sunday?
Or Saturday, you mean Saturday?
Rather
or you mean
not.
Sunday?
Well, I meant instead of the first, like the second.
I can't, the second I cannot, and Kevin can't either.
I can't meet on a Sunday. Can't.
Yeah.
What about another evening? What do we have, who are we meeting with or who's the budget committee meeting with on the 1st? I can't remember.
No, let me just pull up and give me a second.
It's
Facilities,
1030, 1080, 2035, and 2005.
oh, so there's special appropriations. And facilities. Facilities is probably gonna be their longest discussion. And then you have your special appropriations, cause you said 1080, 10.
1030, 1080, 2035, 2005.
She's got a hard time.
Go over the show. Oh, I got it.
So all
Okay, I
of those
got
are
it.
specials
So,
appropriations
on-
in that facility.
Oh,
On the first, we were supposed to be facilities, special appropriations, soil and water, and extension, Waldo County Extension.
So could you do an evening? Really, probably your biggest discussion will be 1030 because that's facilities and that's 3 pages. And facilities also brought in jail this year too.
So if we did facilities, one evening. We could probably move the rest of these to that Saturday.
yeah, but then we still have a public hearing.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
Which Saturday are we talking about?
The 25th. I think he's talking about.
If we can move, so what do we have on the 25th? Human resources, employee benefits.
Yeah.
Which employee benefits will take a while.
Yeah.
District attorney commissioners.
Yep.
And then if we could go special appropriations, soil and water and the extensions. On the 25th. I think we can probably get through that.
And can we go beyond 3 if we need to, everybody?
Yes.
Can.
And
Yes.
get these,
So you're looking to add which ones to the 25th, special appropriations?
And 80,
Yep.
2035 and 2005. To the 25th. And then facilities, if we could do that one evening.
And so you had did that on an evening.
No, I was just gonna say Wednesdays are bad. for me.
We wanna
Wednesdays,
do-
Thursdays. I
We
can't
were all
do
available
overnight.
tonight,
So this is an unusual Thursday for you.
This is, yeah,
Okay.
I'm good this Thursday, up to my Thursday.
So you normally can't do Thursdays?
No,
You can do Wednesdays?
Wednesdays and Thursdays I do.
Alright.
What about Mondays?
The second and the fourth Monday at 6 p.m. is our selectmen meeting.
Same as ours.
Yeah.
But so Monday oh, you have them every Monday?
Every Monday.
Wow.
What about Tuesday?
We have short roads.
What about Tuesday, the 28th?
I could do that.
I'm gonna be in an airplane,
28th is an emergency management
right? Drill.
drill. That's right.
So Monday, the 27th was out, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Um,
it's like
Wednesdays don't work.
Not for me, no.
Not for me.
How about Friday, the 24th? The facilities on Friday night.
And then we meet at 9 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Did you need them earlier? On Friday? The 24th? Or
I
the
work
6th?
till 5, I can't.
Oh,
I'm gonna be in San Antonio, but I could Zoom at least the Saturday one.
Okay, so we're gonna move not everything on the first, but we're gonna move that meeting on November 1st. To the 24th of October.
You're moving what to the 24th? Facilities or,
Facilities. Yeah.
okay,
I'll have a kid with me. But I can do it.
well, that would be fun.
Let's just see if I got it.
What is that date
24th?
and not the 23rd?
Nope, they're gonna meet with facilities on the 24th. At 6 p.m. And then on the 25th. They're going to meet with HR, health benefits, DAs. Special appropriations,
Commissioners.
commissioners.
Yep, and special appropriations, University of Maine. Soil and water.
Very, will Tracy be ready for benefits?
Yeah, we,
So I know she's in a car starting on.
she'll be back. She plans to be here on the 25th, and we actually have a meeting, her and I, on the
Yeah.
15th. To go over that.
Yeah.
Is
didn't
there
she-
something
didn't
else
she
we could move
approve
to the
that date and
24th?
time when we talked?
She did,
Yeah.
yes. What was that, Bob?
Is there something else we could move to the 24th?
Oh, you could probably do your special oh wait, no, never mind. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
It's gonna be facilities.
I already, yeah,
I
especially.
think you're gonna have a long discussion with facilities.
Facilities
Yeah.
gonna be
And I'd
long.
hate for you to put something else in there. I mean, you spent 3.5 hours on a jail budget.
Yeah, we did.
I know, and I wanna do it again.
Yeah, so that's my question. I have at least two departments that I want to review.
You.
Yeah,
And
the other-
and
the
they're
other
not,
thing-
they're
the
not
other-
quick.
Yeah, and the other
Conversations.
thing we need to do is we need to sit down and then vote on all of these budget
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah,
That's
so
So
we don't
have
we don't
anything?
have that built in here anywhere.
So Bob, on jail, we've got some issues in motion right now. I can't discuss, but hopefully we'll know something by then.
I have to move all those special appropriations folks. So we're gonna have to see how that goes, because they were all expecting to be on November 1st.
But there was only two in the book.
Well, I guess when I use that term, you're right.
Soil and water agency.
Fire and WCAP.
Yeah, and soil and water. I guess when I think of that, I always think about those were not here with the departments, but outside agencies. So that's have to be tricky, just giving you a heads up,
Okay.
because they were,
We'll do what we can.
okay.
You're gonna remember the last 2 years. They'll make it here.
All right, is everybody okay with that? So the next time we meet will be on the 24th.
At
We'll
6
go over
p.m.
at 6 p.m. We'll go over facilities. Then on the 25th, we'll have a whiz bang day. And we'll,
That there's a good chance we'll go beyond 3 p.m.
there's a chance. And, maybe at that
So what time on the Saturday?
Saturday 9.
So the review conversations, the review department conversations. We need to pick that because those department heads need to be present.
And which ones are you thinking of?
Well, we haven't totally discussed that as a group.
Also,
I can tell you who my starters are:
Okay, go ahead.
sheriff, jail, and IT.
Okay, did anybody have any others?
Those are, yeah, after the conversations we had today about printer ink, it's like, yeah, I wanna go back there.
Yeah.
Having people carve out $200 that work really hard to make
Yeah,
it
I
small.
felt like I felt.
No, yeah, and then I'm like, well, then when, some of these things like a new kitchen come up and it's like, we're like, well, can you make it smaller? But it's like big budget
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Well,
She's sorry.
So does anybody have any suggestions on that?
So what's wrong with the first? Is it just one person having an issue with the first?
Yes.
One person? You,
the chair.
okay,
Yeah, they're a big buck by 9, so.
Is don't you get the deer by like 8 a.m.? I was wondering that too, but he is the chair.
I'm sorry if I didn't if I realized that when we were setting this up. I would have changed it.
We have a wedding.
Me too. Are we
Second's out.
wedding?
Is the second out?
Oh, and
Mary,
Mary,
you
you
said
said that you had a conflict, right?
I have an afternoon conflict, yes, and I had asked them to stop at 2 o'clock.
Okay,
that
so don't
I
put
can
all the
stop.
blame on me. So,
Well, those then we.
so when do we wanna talk to the sheriff and to Jason again?
Well,
I
Jason,
mean, I
I
read,
all of them, so.
yeah, I've reviewed all the stuff you gave us, Jason. I'll be here.
Can we do it in an evening? I mean, since we've already gone through the entire budgets and we just want to revisit certain lines.
We seem to have an issue with the days of the week, and that's why we got to Friday, the 24th.
Well, I thought Tuesday worked pretty well.
You've got a good 20 minutes. Jason's here now.
I don't
It's a
feel
bigger
ready.
conversation in 20 minutes.
Are Tuesdays okay?
And you
I
can budget
I have
until
those
9
meetings
o'clock
on the
tonight.
2nd and 4th.
Okay, so the first Tuesday, it's
I
elected.
will be
but-
gone,
Ah,
but. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to participate in Zoom either. I have a work trip.
You're saying Tuesday the 4th. Yeah.
yeah.
If that worked for everyone
Like
else.
Wednesdays
like,
don't work.
Yeah,
Tuesday's good for me.
Neither of us can do Wednesdays. And you're every,
does the fact of that being election day make a difference for anyone?
doesn't matter.
No, unless we don't have a election warden and then they.
Yeah, no, I would really like to be there for this, and I couldn't even Zoom. Or I'll be.
So then is there a chance this, the first Thursday could work for you? Or is it, I mean, like, this was an unusual.
No, I work every Wednesday night and every Thursday night.
And I can't do the first Thursday of November. Already booked.
And Sundays were bad.
Oh, hey, we got another Friday.
Could we do like later in, no, we can do later in the day, cause you would have to be done with
31st?
first. Halloween.
It's a scary budget.
I think started it,
And during the day does not work for anybody, correct?
On a weekday?
Yeah.
I can during the day on Thursdays, on Mondays.
I could do it during the day.
I can't do it during the day on any day,
You can't.
except Saturdays.
Friday afternoons.
The Saturday, the 8th is a possibility.
I will be away.
You'll be.
And I'll be away.
Yeah, we already determined the 8th didn't work.
But if we're having the conversation, it's our revisiting conversation. So,
Carrie's the one that
yeah.
pulls.
Pulls it all
numbers
together, I know.
If we started later, I could probably come from select board to here. No, everyone else has that on Monday nights too, right?
Oh.
Or several people.
I'd rather Thursday.
Wonder if we get.
What about a Sunday night?
I
Not
can't,
that
I
bad.
work Sunday nights.
Sundays are out for me.
Friday, that 24th, did we decide no one could start earlier than 6?
Yeah.
Yes. Winter board.
And then you have facilities. That's probably gonna last a long conversation. And if they're going to visit jail, sheriff,
Right.
and IT, you know that's
That's a long haul.
at least, they're looking at least a good 5-hour day for
True.
those revisits. So, so Barb, here's my thought about the 8th, because you and I are both out. What if we were to get Danielle to come in?
She's not here, she's not.
She left already. And to record those, that way they can continue, we can still continue to do our thing. But do bear in mind that your public hearing at this point is still going to end up being in December at this point.
Sorry.
To follow the.
It is what it
It's a
is.
Friday, the 7th didn't work?
And the meeting, and it's being recorded.
I'm gone from the 7th through the 12th. It is, I cannot change it.
So the budget meeting will be recorded.
Yep.
if I can get Danielle to record the notes if any changes. And then we can, and if she could just handwrite minutes, I think that we can pull it together, and I don't mind helping pulling together whatever I need.
That's if she's free. Should I go call? Oh.
So that's for the 7th.
No.
This is for, we're talking the 8th.
Saturday, the 8th.
Saturday. I'll have my.
I was gonna say, you can't use the deer 2 weeks in a row.
I didn't get one last year.
Yeah, president.
We need a payoff on our investment, Bob.
Is everybody else good for Saturday, the 8th?
Yeah. Could we do
I'm,
it in the morning and hope to end early-ish, earlier than 3, given that it's.
how early you wanna start?
Well, I just mean like, could it be like a 9 to 1 expectation
Yeah,
or
I
something like
think
that?
I think so.
9 to
Yeah.
1,
And who would you be seeing on November 8th?
sheriff,
The review one?
jail and IT.
Yeah, I need to.
Again, if they're free.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be making beaucoup phone calls.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just the same.
And if there's anybody in the other meetings that we're gonna wanna revisit. We'd be also slotting them into Saturday the 8th. If anybody, any of the groups that we're looking at on the 25th or the 26th.
If we need.
If we wanted to revisit.
Yeah.
something.
And Megan.
Those
Yeah,
are
if
probably
they couldn't
those that
make-
we'd be adding those.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So if we can't get, so that everybody that we were trying to jam
Oh.
to the 24th.
25th, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the 25th,
Okay.
we could probably move them to the 8th.
Which wasn't actually what I said, although that's a good idea.
Yeah, that is good.
But I mean, but I was saying if we wanted to add another department into a revisit situation, like,
One of the other ones we look at.
right, if we come across things on that Saturday and say, let's look at this again next week with 2 weeks.
So you do have Jason who is here, and you do have it scheduled to be here till 9 tonight.
I don't think we're ready to do that yet.
Yeah, I don't.
I haven't been able to look over the
Yeah.
new handouts yet.
Can I ask a question about the new handouts? The
Sure.
first one, which I already put in here, with discussion, it has 2 of the same page.
I'll just rip one out if one's a duplicate.
Well, the original. Okay,
Hold on.
I mean, there were 2 of about 3,000, but then, so there's
Oh,
not
there's
a
only one now.
replacement for this page.
There's what?
There's not a replacement for this.
No,
page.
there's not. You only
Because
got,
we had this one and this one.
Yeah.
Just that they were double sided original.
yep, but just
Okay.
leave that one. Keep that one, delete that one.
All right, let me just, let me just make sure we're all set. What we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to, we're gonna move facilities to the 24th at 6 p.m. We'll try to get through facilities on the 24th. On the 25th, we're gonna meet human resources, employee benefits, district attorney, commissioner's office, and we're gonna try to push in special appropriations, soil and water, and Waldo County Extension. If any of those special ones can't make it on the 25th, we'll push them into the November 8th, where we're going to revisit the sheriff, the jail, and IT.
Yes.
And makes sense? And then
Yes.
probably at that meeting, we'll also work on going through each of these and saying, okay, this is what we agreed to this, let's vote on it. That sort of. Okay,
Okay.
any other discussion?
I have just a couple questions. Probably for Commissioner Johnson, probably would be able to answer more. I know the other two commissioners are new and Carrie, and you sort of new. And okay, the audit. I guess I'm a little confused as to why we've just got 21's audit that just got done and that we don't have the other audits. And this is 25.
Because there was a period of time when for about a year where we had 6 or 7 different finance directors. Also after the 2020, it was difficult to get auditors to come in. And so all these years go by. Now, we have 2022 done, and 2023 looks pretty good. So we're catching up, but all over the state, the counties are and municipalities are having the same problem. It's hard to get an auditor. And 2020 really knocked things for a loop. And so it's catching up, but it was also a period of time where we went through a lot of change in the finance office. And we've had Carrie now for a little over a year, right, Carrie?
Two and a
Years. And
two.
see how time goes. You know, so we're trying to correct all this. So that's why. It's we're working on it and it looks positive. So that we're going to get it done.
You know, I know I'm the new one here, but when I came on to Freedom, you know, I was given like a fast forward experience in all of this, and I entered and our books were a mess, and we have R.H. Smith, and you know, I got faced with this is the worst situation a town could be in, and so we had a lot of when I entered, a lot of reserve accounts that, you know, the people thought there was 200,000 in and that we had 0 in. And so I know that you all have a lot of checkbooks and accounts. And so I'm just curious as to how we really know what money we have when we haven't had.
And we're
an
working
audit.
on all that and there's
Okay.
changes being made. We're on top of it.
Okay, and when you guys get your audit, what do they usually call that? It comes with it that's for perhaps the selectmen or the budget committee that.
Report.
Okay, and do you pass that report on to the budget committee or do you have that public? Or is it? Okay, the manager, okay. And then my other question was, so last week, you know, we heard that a lot of items in the IT budget had been paid out of a reserve account that is now at 0. So in the past years, when the budget committee has approved the IT budget, were you all aware that there were a lot of items in that department that was being paid out of a reserve account?
We were aware that there were a lot of reserve accounts and we really didn't get into the reserve accounts in any kind of detail.
And so I'm just trying to get this straight in my mind. So when you guys have money left over in the accounts at the end of the year, I know that the state only allows you to keep a certain percentage and the rest has to be given back to the people. But before then, I know that you can also move some of that around to reserve accounts, probably why you have so many checkbooks, right? So once that happens, again, in my town, we would have public work department that would over budget items and the budget committee never saw perhaps the actual spent in past years. So they over budget and their reserve account would grow. And then they were able to purchase things that the people didn't approve of. So how is that what you all are able to do?
No.
How are?
No, we're not,
Mhm,
we're not able to operate like municipalities.
mhm,
And we usually don't. And, so it's a different,
mhm,
whole situation, okay? And, yeah, we have way too many bank accounts.
mhm.
And we're working on that. We're trying to just get everything in order. And it's day by day, really, Carrie, that, we're always on top. Kevin has been great, picking up a lot of that. And he's the dollar, big number person.
So we actually met with Don Smith today.
Yes, yes, we did.
Is the world coming to an end?
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. He didn't have a choice.
So one
I
of
love
the
those.
things at our workshop today is, for the reserve accounts is one, we're looking at not only what the reserve account is for, how much cash is in there, and the description for how it can be expensed. We're looking at all of those pieces and we're consolidating some of the reserve accounts. Like I know there's 4 or 5 in facilities. 5. It's going to be one facilities capital outlay, and we're going to be very definitive on the language. And the language cannot include the word other expenses.
Good.
So we talked about that workshop today because really we want to take a look at that every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I think there's some major changes that, and I told Ron Smith that today. I said, we're moving in a different direction. And I'll give you an example, opioid account. The opioid reserve account, next Thursday, we're gonna move the money was coming into the general account.
Mhm.
Well, now it's automatic transfer into the opioid account. It
We
goes
have a
directly
separate
in.
Policy and everything.
Separate policy, separate warrants, separate expenses for line items. Those will go directly in there. We have to move some money from the general fund just to get the opioid account squared up. After next Thursday, the optics on this is so clean that, the next decade and a half, that there's going to be no questions about it. And so the reserve accounts, we're taking a hard look at those and we want to get as consolidate. When I mentioned the amount of checking accounts, Ron goes, he said, he kind of almost flipped back in his chair. I said, we're going to get these down. And that's our goal by December 31st. So, and we know that there's cash in those accounts, but not a fictitious number. So when you do tap it, you know what you're expending on, and define capital expense. And that's some of the wording that we're going back and forth on right now.
Okay, good.
It should be, a $5,000 limit, then go cap over, those type of things. So it's an interesting exercise, and we did talk about our 22 and 23 audits, because we paused them. We weren't going to accept the opinion that he was going to give because he couldn't get access to Northern Data. And he agreed that Northern Data is a very clunky system. It's beyond its time. And we got access, we had to pay extra to the databases for 22 and 23. And so now he has access to those. I think 22, we've come to an agreement. We should have that one done within next 30 days, which is good. Because I get very specific about the opinions that he's going to issue on those.
Right.
And that's where I was driving this to. 23 is going to be a difficult one once they get into it. 23, there was too many hands in the pot. And he got it.
So if you move money from the general fund, how do you know how much you can or can't move if you don't know what your undesignated fund balance is?
So that's a good question for Carrie. I don't want to tee it off to her, but we don't move money unless we know what we have and what we need to expend it on. So
I said, if you move money from the general fund to the opioid fund, or whatever.
Yeah, it has to be a motion by the commissioners.
Well, I understand it, but how do you know how much you can move if you don't know what your undesignated fund balance is?
That's a great question. How is it? So I haven't officially moved anything, nor has this board officially moved anything. So it's a new process. I will share how it's happening to me. If there is money at the end of the year that's left after the budgets, that's how I am told the commissioners moved money into the reserve.
Oh, so they moved it from, based on the budgetary excesses.
Yes.
So
To
I
the
mean,
reserves.
typically undesignated fund balance is the cumulative amount of revenues
Yep.
in excess of expenses.
Yep. That's how it was explained, that the commissioners would make a vote to determine what went into the reserves. If there was money at
Left
the
on the
end
budget.
of the year out of the budget, yes. I have not gone through a process to do this.
Yep.
I'm just basing it on hearsay.
Understand. That's kind of an iffy process, I think.
Um,
What are you gonna do? If you don't have the information, you gotta do something, right?
I'll share with what I shared 2 weeks ago, you know, the county cannot save money, so how do we save money? And so by saving money, you look at the end line, you look at what's in undesignated funds. And these reserves were established for
Specific.
specific expenses that may be above what's in our budget. I am a firm believer that you spend what is in your budget. But if there are major catastrophes that happen, you know, we have issues with doors out here. Let's say one of them wouldn't shut or lock or blows open in the wind, you know, it's not in our facilities budget, and you know, we're in November and he has no money left. You know, you'll have to go to a reserve at that point. But if you know that the doors are weak, you're gonna plan for that for your budget for the following year to take care of it. So there's times when those reserves are needed. But I don't think that it should come. If it's not budgeted and you can budget for it, but if you can't, then that's where the reserve comes in. Other wording, you know, we're talking about the restriction in the wording and that it cannot be used to offset a budget. It cannot be used to offset a budget line. The
They split
commissioners,
invoices.
the commissioners have full authority on those, and that is statute. So it's really up to them to make the determination whether or not that's coming out of reserve. I personally think that the deal of, oh, just take it out of reserve, that conversation needs to stop. We need to show what our true budgets really are. And I think that they're there, and it is heartening to overhear to hear, you know, take $200 from here, and we're saying, you know, because we still have unexpected things that we're coming from. You know, we don't know what may happen down the road. I mean, we're giving you our best guesses,
Right.
and there's just some uncertainty. So I get taxpayers are having a struggle. I'm a taxpayer. I hate paying my tax bill. It is what it is, but I understand where that money is going to as well.
It is what it is, but there's another aspect of this whole thing too, and because you know, you have yo-yo and yay, and now I'm supposedly Yoda today. But
We voted.
we bring these department heads up and they have conversations about how we're saving money. And it's good because we have to find the money to save it. But then, you know, we go into some of these rooms like upstairs and we got roofs that are leaking. And in the judge's chambers above us directly, you could feel the cold air coming through the window. And like, there's things like we've always said that it's great that we have all of our buildings paid off. But with some of our audits, not only are we not going to be able to replace buildings or build buildings, we're not even going to be able to take care of the buildings we have. And we have an obligation to take care of the people in those buildings too. And you know, I'm going to throw this out there because nobody was probably harder on Carrie than I was at Unity. And when we brought up this tan thing, the first thing that I said, and those two will say it too, and she'll say it too, I said, we're gonna have 25 pissed off towns.
26.
No, there's not 26, there's 25 in the one city. Belfast is a city. I'm from Belfast. But you know, we also have an obligation to provide services to those 25 towns in one city. And when I call 911, I expect a deputy to show up. And you know, no different than if it was an elderly person. But man, you know, even Mike, you know, we joke about it sometimes. Poor Mike, you know, but he'll be like, "Get him, Tim, get him." And I'm the slow guy, but like I sat down with him, and I nickeled and dimed him on almost everything. So I mean, we have been pretty hard on this stuff, and you know, getting rid of the tan was one thing, and then going out and trying to collect $1 million to the dispatching was a, you know, you think about that, he might potentially be bringing in $1 million, and his budget line's really not going up that much. And we don't have to add personnel either. You know, maybe a couple of earpieces. So
one of the things since the first of the year, we have been having workshops probably every month.
every week.
Maybe twice a month. And just looking at everything that's going on, I felt I was the one that had the experience here. We have 2 new commissioners. Let's all be on the same page. And as we're doing this, we're discovering a lot of things. And writing policies and the policies we have, and you know, we've just really have been working. And money, and also the health care that we have, all of these things, we're looking deep into it. And we're trying to be as transparent as we can. And we also feel the crunch with the money, and we're trying to make it work. So I was very pleased with the last meeting we had with the budget committee. It seemed like everybody was on the same page, wanting to do what is right, and still try to save money, and take care of things too. There are a lot of things, a lot of years that nothing was done. And we had that period of time when we had several different finance directors. Some had different ideas. We had one who won the show, and this is where we got the 42 bank accounts, is because they wanted to show every little cent that was made on an interest. You know,
Way too much.
for what?
I don't know, has anybody else ever dealt with 42 accounts? It's a living nightmare. And I will tell you that the funds for those accounts all do have the money in them. And you had asked me where I am with the reconciliations. I am reconciling those reserve accounts. I started with the balance that was put in there, and I've tried to follow those all the way through every month. What our auditor is working on is the general fund for county and jail. As you've been told multiple times, there have been multiple hands in that pot, and there was, it's just above me to try to figure out that mess, and it is insane.
So do we expect that there, or do we suspect that there may be some screwing around with the money?
No,
No, but you know, one thing that was really pointed out today, which I think is extremely important, is that you look at a lot of the counties around the state, and a lot of them are 5+ to around 10 years behind.
And there's 4
Right.
counties that are in severe trouble.
Oh, yeah,
We're actually in some ways
compared
doing the right
compared to
things.
the other counties.
I think
we
meeting
were
with the
good.
auditor today,
Don't.
face to face with Ron, I think it was a positive meeting. And to go back to Carrie's point, you know, like today's workshop, I said, we ought to be looking at other financial documents besides warrants.
Mhm.
You know, besides I call it the P&L, but the statement of financial activities. We ought to be looking at other reports, and one is the checks, the reserve accounts, you know, and look at them, you know, so that we can see what's going on with those on a routine basis, not waiting, you know, for the end of a quarter or something like that. So here's another thing we put on the table this morning was a disaster recovery for payroll. we didn't choose the software my wife is in, but she works at home. And there isn't a week that goes by that I overhear, well, if you're not in the cloud, here's what you should do. And so our database for accounting will go in the cloud, come with Edmunds accounting software. And then, we're looking at a policy for disaster recovery and retention of the payroll register. So these are things that today we're moving quick. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, but some of our workshops have gone 5 hours.
And not only are we moving quick, instead of creating more of like an administrative burden, we would much rather have more workers to work quick with us. Like, there's doers and then there's talkers. We want doers.
I set up a liaison program where each commissioner is appointed to certain departments. It's to help understand what the departments do, what they're all about. Also, let them know what we are expecting from them, and we also hear what they're expecting from us. And we got to go a little bit further than what we are right now, and some of that is reporting back. And so, but it's a program that I wanted to do for several years, but I never was able to introduce it. And so this was my opportunity, and especially with 2 new people. And I think it's good, and I think it can be worked out.
You had another question.
Just because I want to get it clear here. So when the IT, with the money that was being paid out of the reserves, you said that you didn't like spend the money, but who decided to use the reserve money, and why wasn't it ever just budgeted? And
Okay.
who knew where? Yeah,
Well,
just
IT used to be a contract support.
Services.
Right.
Services.
Not in-house. So when Jason was hired, we it is a department, but we couldn't quite figure out how to make it work for some of the things, the computers and the different departments and stuff. So his budget basically was from every department had IT stuff in it. So
Would they, for example, like pay for a share of like the salary of Jason, or like?
Basically what had happened.
Was it
he was
delineated?
from personnel, I believe. I mean, from the commissioners, I believe.
Correct me, but wasn't IT once upon a time in the commissioner's budget?
Yes.
I think.
Yep, as
we were.
capital outlay, I believe,
Yes.
that contracted service, yes.
And then it was removed.
We had
It was
different
based on
contracts, but
Then it became trying to plan ahead and start trying to
Right.
have a reserve that was getting built up. And then I'd have to go back through minutes to figure out, but that reserve started to get used more and more for the actual budget.
so, we decided that we should have that as a department and, the contracts and serve all the departments. This was the first time IT actually had a separate budget. So
In an effort to be transparent and to actually put real numbers, real figures, and actually give you real, we got rid of the reserve part of it and put it on paper for you. Because before,
that's basically it.
yes, because before the commissioners could just pay the bill.
yeah,
Now you have it on paper.
right. That's
So,
just a little
right, right.
concerning, right?
Well,
And-
and what should be a relief is that you're seeing the end process now. But before, it was a contracted thing. And in order to have a better quality, they pulled it in from being contracted to being employed, paid with it reserves, and over time, they built a process to get out of it. And now you have a final product where you have a budgeted You have a budget for
And
it.
you have no reserves for IT anymore.
Yeah, but we've also, I mean, since I've actually been here, I've been fighting for IT to have an actual budget.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that this board heard that and we made it happen. So you see something that doesn't look right, you have to make a change. And so I think this year, this board has really proven that while things might be altered or not as they seem, this board is making every effort to move forward and make positive change. We're talking about transparency, we're talking about opioid funds, we're talking about the IT budget. I mean, we're talking about merging accounts. What does these look like? We're looking at new software that will accounting software that has more capabilities than what I'm using now. We're looking at they're looking at hiring staff to bring in to help, the finance office. So I see the change. While you may not see the change and we may not be saying it every day, I really think the three of them are showing that they're trying to make positive strides forward to make this county better in every aspect.
I think you see that. You're asking what the heck is going on a year or two
Yeah,
ago.
the feel of that is very much, starting with the two information lead-in meetings to our budget committees.
And keep in mind too, and this was explained to RHR Smith too today, we are the only county that does not have a county administrator. We refuse to do it. Now, some could say that that's, cost effective or it's lackadaisical, but it's because we truly do believe in what we had done as selectmen at one point, and that's taking on our role. We truly believe that it is our job to be here doing it. And like, we could go out and get ourselves an $100,000 administrator, have them sit up here and be all fancy. That's just not how it is.
Encouraging to hear, because with all due respect, I'm going to say part of what I've been hearing so far is why, as a selectman in a small rural community, I have great concerns, and of course I voted for against the 18-month budget, because it seems like what's happening is there were these issues. We have a problem with using so much of the TAN, and it really is being put on to, especially these smaller rural communities are going to feel it. And it sort of feels like we're paying the price up front to try to fix it, rather than the county taking the responsibility and the county budget committee as having to say, well, trying to work at it.
Well,
And so it's just what my people are going to look at this when I started announcing it Monday night. Yeah, and they're not happy with 27.
I still sit on Winterport's budget committee, and the worst thing we have to deal with right now is snow plowing. 63.2 miles at $9,400 a mile. But I think one of the things to get back to your point is I don't think there's a day that it doesn't go by that we're not talking 2 or 3 times on the phone to staff here or coming over. And the other thing that we mentioned to Ron was that in the budget is a staff accountant, and he goes, great move. He said, if you need me to come here and support that position, he says, I will. And so that just goes to the point that we're turning over the rocks and trying to figure out, the history is the history. You learn from history, but where the mistakes are made is if you don't change history going forward. And so that's where we're headed. Optics is one thing, for the taxpayer. That's the reason we're going to the website. We had another short discussion on that today, but and it's the opioid. It seemed like it consumed more of the regular commissioners' court sessions than it should have. So we're fixing that. The press release, the motion to establish the committee, for them to come forward with a business plan and a budget. It's still controlled by the commissioners and the appointment of those committee members, because we want people that just don't want to be on a committee. I mean, you've all sat there in committees and you've got 2 they just may show up or may not show up, don't participate. And so having done MAT teams for 15 years, I said, no, we want somebody that's actively involved in the therapy and treatment of opioid patients. Are we going to solve that problem with the money of $620,000 and change right now is what we...
627, 18 and
Yeah.
change.
We're going to solve everything? No. But I asked the doctor who's retired, I said, what do you see the issues are in Waldo County? Well, he mentioned the three-legged stool, housing, employment, and healthcare. You know, those are the three. And so, you know, are we going to be able to solve all three of those? And the answer is no. But can you move the needle a little bit? That's what I'm looking for. And is the money going to be well spent? And we're going to get data analysis back that I wanted included in the budget so that comes back so that we understand. I kind of hinted that I'd like to get the new physician that's coming on board, the medical director for the jail, to be on that committee because he's going to be dealing with, you know, the residents. And you know, we'll see where that goes, you know, for the future. But I'd like to get an MD on there. They didn't bring that up. I said, what about an MD? If not, nurse practitioner or PA. I would really like somebody on the front lines to get on that committee. So these are the things that they're moving. I mean, I don't know how many things we talked about in the meeting today for the workshop, but it was a full page, 9 point. Betty cussed me out because it wasn't 10, but I kept it to 1 page.
Well, and you know, and it's not a good response, but if you look at the district percentage that gets hit the most out of this whole thing, it is District 1, and then District 2, and then our district. Our district does have 12 towns in it that are fairly small towns, and there is a big impact. You know, there's a big impact when you're losing money and you only have $1. But you know, I wouldn't be impressed if I saw how much I was going up and I lived in Belfast, or I lived in Islesboro, or Winterport, or Lincolnville. And you want, and you know, the biggest town in your district is Unity.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm telling you right now, the percentages that we're going up is not as bad as, you know, but I do hear you on what you're saying, and it is a real fear. Because I have family and freedom too, and I get it. So,
Another component of that though is when the taxes go out to you, your state valuation makes a big impact on what the percentage in which that town pays. And I mean, I have seen.
And that's the surprise.
That is, because I mean, while you see 9%, a lot of municipalities, I think that first year that I started, they're like, why did I go up 25%? And when I start breaking it down, I started looking at, oh, did you do a revaluation? Yes. Well, that impacts you. When the state comes in and they take all that assessor paperwork and they start crunching numbers, that impacts, you know, the towns too.
and I'm gonna throw something else out there too, because it does apply to our district the most. We utilize call sharing when it refers to either EMS, but we also utilize it for patrol and we don't know it. We see a lot of state troopers out in our end of the county. And one of the big questions that I had asked Jason Trundy and Matt Pierce when they were here is back in 18 and 19, there was a rumor about the state police getting rid of it. And that would have cost us because we would have lost that state, the state call sharing. And
Yeah, it's stadies in
what's that?
Lincolnville, it seems. Anytime we've needed something at the beach, it's always ended up state police.
Well, and basically having state police do that means that we don't need to go out and hire about 8 deputies.
Yeah.
It's already there. So that was one thing, you know, but like we in our district cannot afford to have police departments.
Oh.
We just can't. It does not make sense. But also going one step further, that when we got to the conversations about jails, I mean, I asked him, and Jason didn't look, Jason and I, there's a song and dance, but you know, it'd be $10,000-$12,000 right now to build a jail.
$1 million.
Million, sorry.
Let's do it.
Look for that.
No,
You're hired.
well, right, you know, 10-12 million, and then it's where do you put it? And then it's how do you house it? And right now, I mean, we're having you know, we're not leaving anything unturned about where we can house our inmates. Because, you know, 1-2 million is still a lot cheaper than building a jail. But we, you know,
So, you
we're
know,
aggressive.
so we'll keep working. We keep turning over little rocks, sometimes pebbles, but everything is.
We keep Betty here for 6, 7, 8 hours on our Thursdays. Because Kevin likes to talk and I like to listen.
I think we
Empathy doesn't
recognize
work.
that.
We actually work really good together. I mean, we have our discussions and trust me, you know, but I think we really do work really well and
We
God
have
bless
a lot of
select
laughs,
persons because I can tell you, you're carrying the town. It's not like a council and having a town manager. So,
And I have one more year on my term here. And I'm thinking of running again.
we told her we'd prop her right up in the chair. Anything happens, we'll take care of it. That's,
I think
We
we
got that,
recognize,
Betty's.
I think we recognize that you guys are,
They have to just hold me up.
you're cleaning up a mess that's been decades. in
it's
the making.
decades.
I wouldn't
This
even,
didn't happen overnight.
You're looking at things that haven't been looked at. It's gonna take time. We realize that. I think
It's an
from
expensive
what I've heard
mess.
last year and this.
there
year.
was stale Skittles, okay, in this plate that was 2 years old, and I would not let them throw it away. All right, that's how fiscally stingy on something.
Took it to the jail.
No, I took it, I ate it. You know, I made sure it got ate.
So I appreciate, you know, and all of us do, I think, your eagerness to try to make it work. A lot of fears, I know, you have your towns, we all have our towns. I couldn't believe Lincolnville's tax rate, you know, way up there, I
What is
didn't
the
have
mill
to
rate?
pay more than Winterport does.
Yes, they got hit harder than
Getting
what.
close to Belfast.
You know, one thing that I think fears me too is that with some of the audit and stuff, they made it clear.
Tracy,
About-
sorry. Tammy had to leave for the rest of the night.
Okay, they were talking about grants. And, you know, we might not be able to get
Yeah,
funding because of the fact that people don't want to touch us. That's,
well, a qualified opinion doesn't,
no.
it
sure
doesn't put trust in the hearts of
That's exactly right.
financial people or
Healthcare grants
taxpayers,
for
so.
decades, upwards over $2 million. And they've raised, I just learned today, the threshold's going up from 750 for a single audit on federal grants to $1 million. So, you know, I think grants for the future, God love Dale out there at Emergency Services, but, you know, I think they're gonna get tougher to get.
Yeah, that's good.
Real
And
tough.
I wouldn't count on congressional directed
Right.
spending either for much
No.
right now.
I was talking to one commissioner yesterday from another county. He says, "Oh, I used to be on the DOC Department of Corrections Committee with the state." And I said, "So you're the one?" I said, "Tell me where the bodies are buried." You know, that's the type of thing. But,
All right,
Well, can I
sure.
yes, ma'am.
just, and when we talk about the jail and, I mean, I feel like aren't we still sort of ignoring the root issue, which I know it's state level, but the whole idea of underfunding of judges and DAs and defense stuff, our jails are starting to get so full because everybody's pre-trial and we can't do anything with them. And we're in better shape than at least 2 other counties that have been in the news. I mean, are we starting to get to kind of a tipping point here where maybe we need to really be pushing back on the state to say.
We did. So I'm co-chair of the legislative committee too.
Yeah,
And part of their emphasis was to Andre Cushing's the president of the association out of Penobscot. And so what we were trying to do is get the pressure and get the sheriff's association to work with us to go to the state and say, look, and this year we were fighting over $4 million and they just weren't cooperating. So we're trying to forge a force that has to be reckoned with. And Governor Mills is anti-correction. So, you know, it's not a party issue. She's just anti-funding the corrections. And so that $4 million would have helped out the jails, but we didn't get it. So it's going to be a long battle to find more funding from the state. And hearing from Ron today is they're going to be looking at the jail budgets in a different light. And I'm trying to figure out what he meant by that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna be in jail. No.
yeah.
Well, you know, we already did say something
The
about
lighting
judges
is
with
different
that.
there, yeah.
But
Right.
But there's a whole lot of pieces, but the big drivers is one is housing.
Mhm.
That housing cost is, we're being held hostage. The other thing is our medical benefits, and that's gonna take a time to tease it out. And I was talking to Tracy yesterday on that, and I said, look, I want a data dump of all the meds and the quantity and what the prices we're paying for it, so we can go to the new PBM, the pharmacy benefit manager, and say, look, go through these. You know, whether it be Lipitor or whether it be, diabetic drug, metformin, the drug. So, just see what kind of prices we're actually paying for. And maybe in the plan, we can drive people to generics versus that, or if we're using a lot, maybe we can get a bigger discount on that med. Those are the things I'm trying to figure out with her right now and I said, I wanted to see it. I'm not waiting till January 1st. I want to see it now. I said, because now is the time to go through the detail. So, between the medical, the housing, those are the big drivers. And then, we're moving to, the new accounting package, new website. Those are two other things that we're moving on. And so, we've got a lot of, I called it balls in the air. Carrie goes, oh, you finally realized that? And I'm going, well, I did have this epiphany on the drive over here. It's a sugar spike. But these are, with the staff that we've got, it's, and they're working night and day to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
And because then we go, oh, that's what it is. Well, how about if we look at it this way? Let's look at it a couple different ways. And so, just to go back to what you said, we didn't get here overnight.
Well, and also, it's not a good answer, but I think that it's a respectful one back, Robin, is that you look at the model in which we perform. We are where corrections was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. Well, the way that we do corrections in our state right now compared to the rest of the counties and the state itself, we are where we're 10 years ahead of them.
Oh,
We do, but we're still 20 years behind the rest of the country. Okay. So we are the most responsible county when it comes to corrections.
well, I wasn't saying
But-
that we're not
But
doing our part.
no.
What I'm
But
saying
where
is,
we're going to be punished is that we are at the mercy of housing. It is what it is, and it's not a friendly conversation. But the reality is that these bigger facilities can say, "Fuck yeah," and we have no leverage.
Okay, so anyway,
Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I'm just gonna make a comment about November 8th.
Yes.
Our office associate Danielle Murray can be here. She can only be here until 4. She does have a commitment in the evening.
Okay,
Said-
well, we'll do our best to get.
Said
them.
9 to 1 anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
thank you.